breaking news from the White House. Guys, I hope you are feeling good today. I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful to be in this chair talking to you guys about important things that are happening in this country. So I just want to thank you so much for being on this journey and diving into this conversation with me. If you like the conversations we have here, please consider liking and subscribing. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right in. I think the best way to kind of start this video off is by sharing, like, the White House just shared this minutes ago, but it is incredible. It looks like they're introducing this new concept called MAGA minutes, and I love I just love the type of transparency we're seeing from this administration. I've said it before, and I'm going to keep saying it again, just because it seems like we're in some kind of cultural aftershock because of the lack of transparency we've seen over the past 4 years with the Biden administration. So it looks like MAGA Minute is going to be hosted by Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, and it is just really, really refreshing. So check this out. It's a minute long, but she just goes ahead and catches everyone up on the progress that's been made over the past, the past week in the White House. So check this out.
Welcome to the MAGA Minute. It's been a huge week here at the White House, and let's go over the wins President Trump delivered on behalf of you, the American people. On immigration, illegal migrant encounters between the ports of entry are down nearly 87%. On the economy, President Trump laid out a plan to establish a sovereign wealth fund to better invest the more than $5 trillion in assets held by the United States. He also proposed tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico and China, and those tariffs were swiftly paused after our allies agreed to step up and address these issues. We are streamlining USAID into the State Department. President Trump signed a historic executive order to ban men in women's sport. Lastly, President Trump is already making our military strong again. Army recruitment in the month of December, with the anticipation of President Trump's return to the Oval Office, hit a 15-year high. We'll see you for next week's MAGA Minute.
Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? Like, I just think this is incredible. Like, if you're someone who has a very casual relationship with politics, you're not someone who really is just going super deep and watching these videos every single day. You're just kind of a casual viewer. I think these MAGA minutes are just so critical for the casual but still wanting to be informed type of participant in this whole political paradigm. So I think this is fantastic, and I just love that we're getting this from the White House. And just a quick, synopsis right here. President Trump is delivering huge wins. So I just think this is incredible. Okay, so more on this. Check this out. This just came out. Obviously, President Trump had a really short interview he had an interview with Brett Baier, and I wanted to share this clip because we see Brett Baier asking this question: do you view JD Vance as your successor, the 2028 nominee for president? So check this out. I love his response here. All right.
Do you view Vice President J.D. Vance as your successor, the Republican nominee in 2028?
No, but he's very capable. I mean, I don't think that I think you have a lot of very capable people. So far, I think he's doing a fantastic job. It's too early. We're just starting.
But by the time we get to the midterms, he's going to be looking for an endorsement.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that this has been the greatest opening, almost 3 weeks, in the history of the presidency.
It's definitely been the fastest and the most stuff happening.
We've done so much so fast, and we really had to, because they have really, what they've done to our country is so sad. It's so sad. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before.
There we go. So didn't really say anything about endorsing JD Vance, but I do love this idea that he just shared, saying like there's a lot of great people. There's a lot of capable people. And this is kind of the same narrative that we've been seeing, essentially, not even before the election, right? We saw this shift happening with President Trump. We saw him deliberately surrounding himself with people who looked different, people who thought differently, people who weren't perfectly aligned or checked every box, but people with a different way of thinking, but still wanting to make great progress in this country. I'm talking about the RFK Juniors, the Tulsi Gabbards, the Elon Musk, and yes, the JD Vance, the Viveks, all of these people. And, even we just saw this video right now from Caroline Leavitt. Like, again, she's 27 years old. And whenever President Trump is, uplifting this idea of, oh my gosh, like successors, and him saying, there's actually a lot of capable people. Like, yes, there are, and they're all extraordinarily younger. So whenever I see things like this, I'm just reminded of Kamala Harris saying, like, you know what, I believe in the next generation of leadership. And it's like, do you? Like, everyone that she seems to be surrounding herself with were generally older, and they're not even them being older, but they also had like very traditional mindsets, and those mindsets aren't the ones that are very reflective of the American people. Like MAGA minute, like this is such a young concept. Like they know that we live in such a fast-paced world, so they're wanting to go ahead and pretty much contain everything on a weekly basis and have a young host kind of lead it. Like MAGA, I'm sorry, but there's just no way that I saw even this concept existing with the previous administration. So the fact that it not only exists, but it's thriving with the Trump administration, this is incredible. And I think this is just a fingerprint of what we're going to be seeing in the future. And again, seeing President Trump surround himself with J.D. Vance, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, all of these people, like, yes, there are extremely capable people like all around him. So maybe JD is one of them. I don't know. I know a lot of people in the comments, they're very much wanting I've seen some people say like, yeah, let's do a JD Vance and a Tulsi Gabbard ticket. Is that possible? There seems to be a census there, but let me know in the comments what you think about that. But nonetheless, that makes me really excited to see. So I saw this video today by Colin Rugg, and it was about Google officially changing the name from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And there's actually this extraordinary moment of President Trump in Air Force One actually just reacting to the news from his pilot. So check this out.
And we're flying right over it right now. So we thought this would be appropriate. Even bigger than the Super Bowl. This is a big thing. And almost everybody now has assented to that.
Attention on board. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please direct your attention out the right side of the aircraft. Air Force One is currently in international waters, for the first time in history, flying over the recently renamed Gulf of America. Please enjoy the flight, and we are now about to head westbound to Super Bowl 59.
Wow, yeah. He did that well. Make America great again, right? That's what we care about. Okay, here we go.
There we go. Come on. How do people hate this man? Speaking of people hating this man, I saw this from Libs Up TikTok, and this is crazy. The headline here is CNN is forced to admit it. 70% of Americans say Trump is doing exactly what he promised, and his approval ratings are at an all-time high. Do you hear that? His approval ratings are through the roof. And again, I love this sentence: promises made, promises kept. This is a minute long, but this is really, really important. Remember, this is coming from the CNN. Check this out.
You know, I think one of the things that's so important for politicians is for folks to believe what they're saying and that they're keeping their campaign promises. So I think this gives you a pretty gosh darn good idea of what may be going on. Trump's doing what he promised to do. You go back to April of 2017, it was just 46% of all Americans who said that Trump was doing what he promised to do. Compare that now to February of 2025. You know, there was a good show that was on during the 1990s called A Different World. That is what's going on right now. We're living in a different world. 70% of Americans say Trump is doing what he promised to do. Again, compare that to April of 2017 when it's just 46%. When Americans are 24 points more likely to say that you're doing what you promised to do, it's no wonder that your net approval rating is much more likely to be on the positive side of the ledger than on the negative side. And so far, what we're seeing, again, is Americans, 21 days so far, versus just 11 days during his entire first term, that Trump has a positive net approval rating. Quite a different world. You know, I think...
There we go. CNN just now saying that we are living in a different world. Yes, we are. And the reason why these numbers are so important, like, no, they're not just abstract, right? Numbers don't lie. And the fact that so many people are holding this idea that, no, you know what, President Trump, he's actually he's just delivering on what he said he was going to do on the campaign trail. This actually sets a really healthy expectation for the future. So, you know, come 2028, whatever that looks like, but you got to pay attention to those promises. I think we've given so much of a leash to politicians, and we're so used to being lied to on the campaign trail that whenever we're actually being delivered some results, we're being delivered promises, we're actually set back a little bit. Like, wait a second, that actually happened? That's crazy. There's so many people who voted for President Biden in 2020 because they said that he was going to be getting rid of all of our student loans, right? As someone with student loans, I'm like, you know what, that sounds pretty attractive. Again, I never voted for Biden, but hey, if you wanted to pay for it, I would not have stopped you. But again, that was the promise, and that promise fell through. Again, he tried. Some people actually got their student loans forgiven, but again, he was someone who was saying, no, we're going to do it, and we're going to do it all the way, and it didn't happen. And you know what, I don't think a lot of people ended up talking about it. So the fact that President Trump is doing exactly what he promised to do, I don't think we should take that lightly. I think we should celebrate that. I really, really do. All right. And again, the White House has said this time and again. This was the other day during their last, short, brief clip with Caroline Levitt. She said, promises made, promises kept. All right. And I also want to show something that's happening on the other side, because the Super Bowl was yesterday. Let me know who you guys went for. Let me know if your team won or lost. I was really more of a spectator there, but I think I'm happy with the results, I gotta say. So Harry Sisson says Kendrick Lamar dissed Trump and protested that the United States in a protest of the United States in front of it, and Trump got scared and left the Super Bowl early. It just doesn't get any better than that. And the reason I really wanted to share this is because someone is literally throwing this in his face in the comment section. All right. Someone in one of the top comments says, you're grasping at straws now. The people cheered Trump and America loves him. You're on the wrong side of history, and you ruined your life forever. Okay, so the reason why these numbers are just really, really important is because they actually force prominent Democrats to look in the mirror, and I'm talking about the Harry Sissons, right? I'm talking about, right, CNN, the people who used to be so disconnected from reality by echoing again this same idea that Trump is the bad guy, Trump is the villain, Trump doesn't do any good. Like, no, these numbers are just throwing it in their face. Like, no, the American people voted for this. The American people like this. The American people are actually happy with what's going on. But again, you're kind of being thrown into this script that they're reading. But I just love that people are like, no, you know what? The American people love Trump, and you're grasping at straws. I think that's great, and I think that's worth celebrating. Speaking of grasping at straws, you might not be grasping at paper straws anymore, because look at what was just shared from Margot Martin. She is one of the, what is it called? Special assistant to the president and communications advisor to President Trump. So this is amazing. All right, check this out. It's an executive order banning paper straws, essentially. So check this out.
This is an executive order relating to the use of paper straws. As you've consistently identified, nobody really likes paper straws.
Number one trending. Can you believe it? A paper straw was number one trending for 3 days or something.
The environmental impact of plastic straws versus paper straws is entirely unclear. This has cost both the government and private industry an absolute ton of money and left consumers all over the country wildly dissatisfied with their straws. So we're asking aspects of the federal government, federal departments and agencies to look at their existing procurement processes. And we're asking your Domestic Policy Council to look holistically at this issue to address it. And it really is something that affects ordinary Americans in their everyday lives.
We're going back to plastic straws. These things don't work. I've had them many times, and on occasion they break, they explode. If something's hot, they don't last very long, like a matter of minutes, sometimes a matter of seconds. It's a ridiculous situation. So we're going back to plastic straws. I think it's okay.
Wow. There you go. And if I could just share my opinion for one quick second. All right. I was never a fan of paper straws, but as you guys know, as you guys always see me in pretty much essentially every single show that I do, I'm a fan of straws. I like straws. I believe that straws protect your teeth, especially whenever the drinks are acidic. I think they're really, really important. But I'm a big fan of plastic straws, or the hardened plastic straws, or even biodegradable straws. I'm a very, very big fan of my biodegradable straws that I have linked up in my Amazon that I bought literally hundreds of them, and I think they're incredible, and they actually don't break, so I think that's awesome. But what I do love about this executive order is it's pretty much just lifting up the curtain, saying, hey, you know what? Let's actually go ahead and do a little bit more research here, and let's stop putting all this nonsensical pressure from the federal level, and let's just let people do what they want, drink what they want. And again, this is reiterating this aspect of freedom again. So I love it. But what do you think about it? Let me know what what your thoughts are on this whole plastic straw versus paper straw debate. And just so everybody knows, this plastic straw gets washed and reused time and again. All right, it does not get thrown away. Okay, the only time it gets thrown away is whenever it breaks. All right, and they just rarely break. So I love it. But let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the other conversations that we had today, and I will see you all next time, guys. I hope you have the best and just most beautiful day. The sun is shining out there. I got breath in my lungs. My legs are able to move. I got eyes to see. This is just a really, really beautiful life, and I'm so grateful to be alive, and I'm so grateful to be able to do this with you all. Okay, hope you have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.